Hi guys, this is Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner, and today we will be making this cute coffee card using a Hampton Arts rubber stamp and an awesome digital kit from TaylorMade Cards for You. But before we get started, please do me a favor and hit that subscribe button, and make sure that you also hit the bell so you get a reminder every single time I upload a video. You'll also want to check out Crafters Castle's monthly challenge. The challenge is anything goes and is solely sponsored by TaylorMade Cards for You. This month's prize is another cup of coffee digital kit that I'm using for today's project, which means that the challenge is open worldwide. Check the description box below for more information, as well as a link so you can buy it. By the way, stick around till the end of the video. I have a coupon code for you to get 20% off your purchase at TaylorMade Cards for You. To start things off, I printed out a couple of the pattern paper pages, sized it down to have 4 of them fit on one page, because each of those digital images does fit 8.5 by 11. So I cut them down to be about the size of a card base, and then I'm just trimming off all the white excess. Once I got done with that, I decided I wanted to layer them up. I do like that green coffee background with the lighter colors, and I just thought it looked so pretty. After I got everything cut out, what I did is I did actually cut these out, print them out rather, on regular copy paper. I did use some 28 pound that I usually use for my planner pages, but I needed to back them up so that they would be, work better on a card. I'm backing them with some 110 pound cardstock from Michaels, and I'm just gluing those down with my art glitter glue. Now that the ephemera pieces are all glued down, I'm going to go ahead and just trim them up. Try to leave a little bit of a border around each of those tickets using my paper trimmer. Now that everything is trimmed up, I decided to take out one of my old rubber stamps. Now this was a block stamp, but at one point I was doing some research as to how to better store all of the rubber stamps that I bought when I first started stamping, and what they basically said is put them on some foam and stick them on some acetate, and that would work great. So I did. I'm using on the back of it. What I used on there was some Aleene's Tack It Again and Again. I think I'm going to get some actually cling foam and try fixing those up a bit. I also used some archival ink so I could see what was on there, and the images are fading real bad. So anyway, I'm using that stamp and some Distress Oxide ink and Vintage Photo to stamp out that real cute image. I absolutely love it. I'm using my Tim Holtz stamp platform, so I'm just going to go ahead and press that one down. And the image didn't come through well. At that point, I realized I had not flipped the cover. On a Tim Holtz mat, the top plate does come off, so you can use it for both rubber stamps and for clear stamps, and I still had it set on clear stamps. I never used my rubber stamps. So I went ahead and flipped that over, and then I'm going to go ahead and set that back up with the stamps so I can get a couple of those just stamped out. Now I'll just give that a good press. And it came out pretty much perfect on the first try. So that tells you that, yes, be sure to remember to turn your stamp platform cover so that you can use it with a rubber stamp. after stamping out a bunch of those happiness is a cup of coffee images, I went ahead and just trimmed those out, basically making them into rectangles. These stamps are pretty much rectangle shapes. So I'm just leaving a little bit of a border around using my paper trimmer to line that up. Next, I decided to add a little bit of color. I mean, I know the images were fine without anything, but I really wanted a little color to make it pop. So I'm taking my Spectrum Noir markers. First one I'm using is the DR1, which you can tell is a little dry. So next I'm going to grab my next marker, which is the DR2, and I'm going to go ahead and finish coloring up that little cup of coffee. And next I'm going to go ahead and fill in the word friend in that same red to make it kind of match and add just a little bit more color. And then I decided to add some little hearts as well. So next I'm going to adhere everything together to put on the front of my card. I'm using my art glitter glue to glue these thin papers down. I was a little iffy about trying to use a tape runner because I didn't know that if I messed up and put it down wrong, I figured it would probably rip the paper, and I didn't want to waste all the time and have to reprint and all of that good stuff. So I'm just lining up this pretty coffee pattern paper in the middle of the other background, which is coffee leaves and is just gorgeous as well. And then I'm going to line up my couple of embellishments on the front, and that part will be done. Again, I'm using art glitter glue for all of that. Does wind up making the cards, I don't know, the texture feels a little bit different to me than it does. I think a little heavier than if I just used my tape runner. So that's something to take into consideration if you're making a bunch of them. But then again, the paper was much, much, much lighter because it was copy paper instead of cardstock. My printer does not like printing on cardstock. So now I'm just going to glue that all down onto the front of my card base. As a finishing touch, I decided to add some little heart confetti that I picked up at Target around, I think it was around Valentine's Day. It's in different colors of gold and silver and pinks. I just think that that is just too pretty. And I decided to just scatter those a little bit on the front of the card, and that'll finish things up. As promised, here is that coupon code for tailor-made cards for you. Be sure to check out the other design team projects. You can find a list of all of those over on Monica's blog, and I've got a list of them. I'm going to put a link to Monica's blog down in the description, as well as one to my blog as well. Thank you guys for dropping in to see me, and have a wonderful, wonderful day. Happy crafting, and I will chat with you soon.